If you're worried about your toddler's speech delay, you're not alone. One of the most common questions I hear from parents is, what can I do at home to help my child with their speech and language? And before I share my favorite toddler speech delay tips, there's one thing I would stop doing immediately. Stop turning communication into a quiz. I'll explain what I mean about that in just a minute. The good news is that there are simple things that you can start doing today that may help support your child's communication, and many of them fit naturally into the things you're already doing every single day. Hi, I'm Sarah Lutz. I'm an early intervention teacher and the creator of First Words Dance Party. For more than 15 years, I've helped families support toddlers with speech delays and other communication challenges. And I want to assure you that helping your child to communicate doesn't have to mean creating complicated therapy sessions at home or buying new toys, flashcards, or apps. In this video, I'll share 5 of my favorite toddler speech delay tips that you can start using right away. Plus, the one thing I would stop doing immediately if your goal is to help your child communicate more. Let's get started. Tip number 1, before I share the rest of my favorite toddler speech delay tips, I want to talk about the one thing I would stop doing immediately if your goal is to help your child communicate more. Stop turning communication into a quiz. If you're doing this, please know you're not alone. In fact, most parents do this because they care so much and they desperately want to help their child talk. And it's hard to be talking to your child with silence in response. But when we're worried about a speech delay, it's natural to ask lots of questions like, what color is that? Is it red? Say red. What's this called? Can you say ball? Say ball. The intention is right. We want to check what our child knows, we want to encourage them to talk, and we want to create opportunities for them to respond. But asking questions is not how children learn language. They learn when we teach them with modeling. So here's what to do. Instead, try turning your questions into comments. Instead of asking, what color is the car? Just try saying, it's a blue car. Instead of asking, what animal is that? Try saying, cow. Cow says moo. Instead of saying, can you say bubble? Just model, bubble, pop, pop, pop. When you comment instead of question, you're giving your child a natural language model without putting pressure on them to respond. You're showing them what communication sounds like while keeping the interaction natural, meaningful, and connected. And here's the best part. Comments really do teach language to late talkers. Research shows that when parents use comments instead of questions, their children naturally hear a richer variety of words, they get the repetition they need, and they get more time to process so that they can respond. So the next time you're tempted to ask a question, see if you can turn it into a comment instead. It's a hard shift, and you may not even be aware that you're asking questions in the first place, but this shift can make a huge difference. Now let's talk about the best strategies for you if you're wondering how to improve a speech delay at home. Tip number 2, my next toddler speech delay tip is to follow your child's lead. When parents are wondering how to correct a speech delay, the very first step is to join a child in the things that motivate them. The best opportunities for language growth are when a child is interested, engaged, and actively doing something. This is especially true for toddlers with speech delays. So think about what naturally captures your child's attention. Maybe they love cars, bubbles, or stacking blocks. Maybe they like helping with chores, like unloading the dishwasher or putting clothes in the washing machine. Whatever it is, join them there. Instead of trying to redirect your child towards what you think they should be playing with, look for opportunities to connect to the things that they're already doing. So for example, if your child is pushing a car back and forth, you could model simple words like stop and go, or fast, slow. If they're playing with bubbles, you might model more, pop, or up. When children are interested in an activity, they're much more receptive to the language that they're hearing. And the best part is you don't need fancy materials or a special activity. Some of the richest communication opportunities happen during everyday moments and simple play. Once you're following your child's lead, then the next step is making your language easier for them to learn from. Tip number 3. The next tip is to use shorter, simpler phrases. This might sound a little counterintuitive. When we're worried about a child who is delayed in speech, The natural instinct might be to use more and more language. We want to explain, describe, and teach as much as possible, and we want to fill that silence. But toddlers with speech delays actually need us to model language that's easier for them to process. So for example, instead of saying, "Look at the big truck driving down the road. Oh, it's a really big truck. Oh, it's carrying a trailer." You could just simply say, "Wow, big truck." Now I want to point out, this isn't about dumbing down your language. It's about opening up opportunities for your child to imitate the words you're modeling that are at the perfect level for them. Think about it this way. If your child is using single words, then a long sentence will be really difficult for them to remember and repeat. But a short 2 or 3 word phrase like "a big truck" is just right. And one of the reasons this strategy is so powerful is that you can use it throughout the routines you're already doing every single day. Think about how many times your child hears the same words during snack time, bath time, or getting dressed. During snack time, you could model "more crackers" or "all done with cheese." During bath time, you might say "wash, wash, wash" or "cold water." These routines happen over and over again, which means that your child gets repeated opportunities to hear and learn language in meaningful situations. And because you're using those short, simple phrases, the language models are easier for your child to understand, remember, and eventually imitate. As your child's language grows, you can increase the length and complexity of what you're modeling. Really and truly, the goal isn't to talk less, it's to make your language easier for your child to learn from. And once you've modeled a word or phrase, there's one more thing that's incredibly important, and that is to give your child time to respond. Tip number 4. My next toddler speech delay tip is to pause and wait. After you've followed your child's lead and modeled a word or a short phrase, try resisting the urge to immediately jump in with more language or a question. This can be surprisingly hard to do. As adults, we're kind of uncomfortable with silence. And when our child doesn't respond right away, we tend to ask another question, repeat ourselves, or move on to something else. But many toddlers with speech delays really need the extra time to process what they've heard and decide how to respond. This is especially true for toddlers with speech delays. So after you model a word or a phrase, pause and wait. And wait a little longer than feels comfortable. You're waiting for your child to take a communicative turn. A communicative turn can be them looking at you, using a gesture like handing you something or pointing. It could be them making a sound or trying to say a word. All of those responses are meaningful communicative turns. One mistake I see parents make is focusing only on spoken words. But the foundation for communication is actually actions and gestures. So when you pause and wait for your child to do this, it's very important. When we slow down and give children time to participate, we're sending the message that communication is a two-way interaction. Think of it like tennis. We serve and we wait for our child to return. And there's one tool that naturally encourages everything I've talked about, that makes language fun and engaging, and it takes the pressure off for both parents and late talkers. And that is music. Tip number 5. My last toddler speech delay tip is to use music intentionally. One of the reasons I love using music with toddlers is that it naturally combines so many things that support communication. Music includes repetition, it includes movement, it can include gestures, actions, and visuals, and because songs are predictable and highly engaging, they create natural opportunities for children to participate. Think about a song like "Wheels on the Bus." After singing it a few times, many children begin to anticipate what comes next. You might sing, "The wipers on the bus go," and then pause. That pause creates an opportunity for your child to participate in whatever way they can. Maybe they look at you expectantly, or they use a gesture like patting you to let you know, "Hey, keep going." Maybe they attempt the action of the wipers going swish, swish, or maybe they try to say swish, swish. All of those responses are communicative turns, which is exactly what you want if you're wondering how to correct a speech delay. The goal isn't to get perfect words. The goal is to create meaningful opportunities for interaction. And this is actually one of the reasons that I started writing songs for speech therapy. Many toddlers with speech delays learn language more easily when it's paired with music, movement, visuals, and play. Songs can make communication practice feel natural, engaging, and fun for both children and parents. So I write songs that incorporate many of the strategies that we use in early intervention to help toddlers with speech delays. Every song uses speech therapy strategies to support children to learn functional words, like the cookie song, which helps children to say yes and no, and open, which teaches the words help and, you guessed it, open. In fact, if you'd like more ideas for using music at home, I've put together a free guide called 5 Easy Steps to Kickstart Communication with Music for Speech Therapy at Home. Inside, I'll walk you through simple ways to use songs during everyday routines to encourage interaction, engagement, and communication. You'll find a link in the description below. If you're worried about your toddler's speech delay, I hope that this video has helped you to feel a little more confident about what you can do at home. Remember, communication doesn't grow through questions or prompts. It grows when you naturally model language as you go about your daily routines. So if you remember just one thing from today's video, let it be this. Try commenting more and questioning less. Your child doesn't need more quizzes. They need opportunities to hear language, connect with you, and to have their turn to respond. When you combine the strategies that we talked about today, commenting instead of questioning, following your child's lead, and using shorter phrases, giving your child time to respond, and incorporating music into your everyday routines, you create countless opportunities to improve a speech delay at home. And if you'd like more support getting started, don't forget to download my free guide, 5 Easy Steps to Kickstart Communication with Music for Speech Therapy at Home. I'll link it in the description below. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like and subscribe for more practical tips on supporting communication through music, movement, and play. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.